Welcome to Espresso and Electronics, quick sips of EDA wisdom. I'm your host Anika Sunda, and joining me today is Shahed Ikram. Shahed is a formal verification architect at Altera. He brings over 3 decades of experience with him. Welcome to the show, Shahed.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
So, guys, today we are going to talk about AI at work. How is AI redefining the entire engineering landscape? So, Shahid, you manage a huge or a big team, right? Do you want to talk about what are the challenges, what are the most pressing challenges that you faced or your team faced before you started to look at the AI assisted verification tools?
Thank you. That's a very interesting question, actually. As you mentioned, I have PhD in formal verification, doing formal verification for 30 years. And one of the key challenges we have is adaptation of formal verification. One reason there is because formal verification itself is very abstract art. You have RTL, you have spec, and then from there you have to create abstract model to verify everything, which does not come natural to most of the people, like simulation, which is stimulus and response. So for us as verification leads and formal verification lead, it is always a challenge to convince people or bring it to the masses to really scale it across the board. And you can see still less than 5% people are doing formal verification. But with the advent of AI, this gap between basically stimulus and response kind of system or from spec to a formal model really become much more easier to achieve. That help people then, or that can anchor people into basically formal verification much more quickly.
But in general, I mean, when you want your teams to start using AI or AI, assisted tools, what were the most pressing things that pushed you towards it, right? Was it the lack of expertise? Was it, throughput, compute? What is it like?
All of above. Uh, People basically, there are very few formal verification people available. So if you really want to do, and usually timelines are getting shorter and shorter, and verification crisis is just getting bigger. That is the first thing. Basically, we don't have enough expertise, and then basically time is always shorter than the last time. Mm-hmm. So productivity increase offered by AI is the biggest attraction to it.
Okay. So, and talking about before you adopt, what was the expectation or skepticism like? What were the thoughts that were going in your mind or your team's mind?
The multiple of them. I mean, generally people are afraid of AI. It may replace you, and that is which I don't agree. I feel it more like it is a co-pilot, and that's what I have to sell them literally. It is a co-pilot. It is your assistant, not it is your replacement. For genuine debugging and thinking process cannot be replaced by AI. It can be, and I give the example of paralegal to an attorney, right? Paralegal collect all the data and everything and bring it to you, and as a senior attorney, you basically, take that data and construct the, outcome out of it. And that collection of data and putting everything together, that's where AI is helpful. Mm-hmm. So that's how I sell it to my team, basically, or overcome the resistance they have.
Was there a turning point or a success story that you want to talk that actually made your confidence much more stronger in AI?
Oh yes, more than one. We were, our previous company and here as well, we were evaluating multiple AI tools at different times. And I tell you, one day when I was trying, we have this formal test plan, and one of the checks in there, basically when we push it through AI, it came back and gave me an SVA assertion, which is pretty complex. I mean, I knew that my FE engineer, it took him half day to construct that. Mm-hmm. And here AI spit it out like in minutes. Mm-hmm. And that was for me a catching moment, basically. Of course, there was hallucination and there are other things too. But this kind of surprise really catch you. Aha moment, yeah, it can do things which otherwise really hard to do.
And when you're trying to push it to your teams or in your workflows, is there a resistance? Because what I've heard is that, there are two set of people, right? One who really want to use, one who are like on the borderline, right? I mean, they want to, but they're like, oh, I don't think so, I should. I don't trust it. I mean, as a verification engineer, I also wouldn't trust it 100%. But then, if you're not using it, then you're behind, right? Somebody else is going to grab that spot.
Oh, certainly. I mean, I would say there are like 3, 4 groups you can divide there. There are 10% early adopters who always love to, new challenges.
Use it.
And I found actually new kids from the college are really, really enthusiastic because they are already been exposed to AI and what they can do, and they really jump into it. And then there are people who are there for a long time, and for them it is a resistance. And then there is a middle who are watching and saying, oh, I will come in once there is sufficient momentum. How we create that momentum, that is the challenge we are working on. And there's one of the things that's the paper I presented yesterday, how to bring that thing in our CI/CD flow, I mean continuous integration and continuous development. AI has to bring these tools like Farmer into that flow, really ease of use for technology adaptation model, basically TAM we are talking here.
Okay, that's really wonderful. One last question I have is that in the engineering landscape, right, where do you feel AI is going to make the biggest impact?
Verification. Why I am saying that? So there are 2 parts, right, in our design verification. There is a design where from spec designer generate, RTL, or even in case of software we use C++ or whatever. Generative AI especially made that part very easy. So almost, in a blink of a moment, you can create so much code. And what happened there, literally, if you think about it, that to verify all that code, you really need, again,
Correct.
to kill the monster, you need another monster, and that is AI.
Correct.
So I see AI on both sides of the equation, for generation and for verification. And we really cannot live without it anymore. I mean, there's no escape from it. If you are my competitor and you are doing your chip in 3 months and I am taking all their 2 years, I will be done in 6 months.
Yeah, you'll be out of business for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's really wonderful. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Keep your circuits connected and your ideas flowing until we meet next on Espresso and Electronics.